Hi foodies, and welcome back to my channel. I'm doing a recipe for July the 4th, which is America's Independence Day. I've never done this recipe before, never tasted this recipe before, but I will be doing a couple for July the 4th. I know today is only July the 2nd, I think. 3rd, 4th, yeah, July the 2nd. But this is in case you want to do it, so you can try it for yourself. So the ingredients you will need are 2 cups of plain flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of coarse salt. If you don't have coarse salt, just use normal salt. 6 tablespoons of butter, 3/4 cups of buttermilk, because I'm doing buttermilk biscuits. So that's your ingredients for your biscuits. Now your ingredients for your gravy is 8 ounce of breakfast sausage. Now I couldn't get my sausage as in a roll without the collagen skin, so I'm going to be using these Irish pork sausages, and I'm going to be taking the skin off, which I'll show you. So that's what I'm using for my sausages, but it's up to yourself. You can use pork, you can use artisanal ones, it's up to yourself. 2 tablespoons of butter, half a cup of plain flour, or as other people may know it as all-purpose flour. 2.5 cups of milk, 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper. So that's for your gravy. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is my biscuits. So I'll bring you down and I will show you how we do the biscuits. So the first thing I have is my bowl. Now you need to preheat your oven to 400 Fahrenheit. Now I'm using my halogen air fryer oven, so I'm just going to put that on for 5 minutes and preheat that. And that's around 200 Celsius. So what we need to do is put our 2 cups of plain flour. As you can see, I've already weighed these. Well, I didn't weigh them out, I used measuring cups. Then our baking soda and baking flour. And then we need to add our salt, then the butter, and we're just going to mix that in. Like so. You want to make it similar to coarse meal or breadcrumbs. And then we're going to add buttermilk. And we're going to combine all that together. You don't want the mixture too wet. We're going to take that, I'm going to flour my surface with a bit of plain flour. And we're just going to bring this together. like so. Now you can use a rolling pin, but I'm going to just flatten it out on my hand. To roughly 1 inch. And then we're going to fold it over like a book. Flatten out again. Fold it over like a book. Now, as I said, you can use a rolling pin. I'm just using my hands. You're hoping that your biscuits will be kind of flaky, doing it this way. Fold it like a book. Fold it like a book. So now I'm just going to roll. You want it about 1 inch thick. And then you're going to cut your biscuits out. Now I've got my biscuit cutter. I'm using kind of a small one. And we're just going to cut these biscuits out. And then we're going to put that on parchment paper. So as you can see, I have my pizza tray. And I just put parchment paper on that. So I'm going to take these biscuits out. And I'm just going to place them on here. Now if you're doing them in an oven, you can do more of them. I'm going to do 5 there. I can do more because I have more pastry left. And I'm going to just brush them lightly with some more buttermilk, just as a glaze. So in here, as you can see, I've just got a bit of buttermilk. I'm just going to glaze the top of them. And that's my halogen oven heated up. And now I'm going to put them in my oven. Now while that is cooking, we're going to get on with the next bit, which is the sausage gravy. Now if you can get your sausage meat loose, you can do that, but I couldn't, so I'm doing it this way, which is sausage links. And I'm just going to take this skin off. Oh yeah, it's a bit more fiddly. It's the same difference. So I'm going to carry on with this and then I'll bring you back. So as you can see, I've took all the cases off and I'm just going to put that into there. And we're going to put this on and we're going to do it medium to high. And we're just going to break that up and cook it. Now you want to brown it. So that's all I'm going to do, is just brown the sausage meat. So when this is browned, I will bring you back. So as you can see, that's cooking away nicely. And don't worry about the bottom, because you'll be using the same pan to make the gravy. So we continue to brown. And it shouldn't take long. Once you have browned them, you're going to take them out, but leave any residual oil that's left from the sausages in the pan, because you're going to keep that for your flavour. So you want to do the sausage like it's a crumb. So that's our sausage is nearly done. Now if you've had biscuits and gravy, let me know if I'm doing this recipe right or what you would change in this recipe. Now when I was looking up, you could actually add flavourings. Some of the suggestions were sage, thyme, chili flakes, but I'm just going to do a basic. So I'm now going to take this out of my pan, and I will show you what we will do next. So now I've took my my sausage out. Now into this goes our butter, and as you can see there's still the meat, so we're going to melt the butter. Do this on a low heat or lowish heat. And don't worry about the bits at the bottom, that's all flavour. Now into that we're going to add a quarter of a cup of flour. So I'm just going to add small bits at a time, because this is our roux. You want to cook all the flour out. And then we're going to add our milk, which will be 2.5 cups, but you're going to add it gradually. So I'm going to put my first cup in, and I'm just going to pour just some of it in. And keep stirring. Now you could whisk it. I'm just doing it this way. Now I'm going to add my next cup of milk. And don't forget, you've got all the flavour from where it hit the bottom. Of the sausage meat. Now you're going to bring this up high, just to boil it. And then you'll turn it down to simmer it, and you'll simmer it for around 10-15 minutes. No, 5 minutes. And as you can see, there's flecks in it from the browning of the sausages. Now that's getting nice and thick, so I'm going to turn this down. We're going to let that simmer, and we're going to put our salt and a lot of black pepper. If you don't like black pepper, you can use white. I'll just give that a mix in. And then we're going to add back our sausage meat. So we're going to let that gently simmer for about 5 minutes. So when this is ready to plate up and taste, I will bring you back. Now I've done a couple of large biscuits because I don't think the small ones are going to be good enough. But I'm going to do a taste test of the small ones before we do a taste test of the whole lot. So these are what they look like. And you saw how many I did. Now they are a little springy, so I'm just going to break this open, and as you can see, they're still hot. If you can see the steam. We're going to give this biscuit a try. They're not as dense as I thought they were going to be. I thought they were going to be like a brick. Like sometimes you get scones that are rock hard that you can bounce them, but these are actually quite nice. They're a little flaky. I think that should be good with a chutney, a jam, even some cheese. They're quite nice. And if you don't want the sugar and stuff that you have in a normal scone, they'll actually be better because there's no sugar in them. So as for the buttermilk biscuits, they're quite tasty. So it shouldn't be long before the big ones are done. Then I'll plate up, give you a closer look, and then we'll do the rest of the taste test. So you can see my big biscuit there and my big biscuit here. Now I'm going to tell you, this sausage gravy smells absolutely yum. So I'm going to pour some over. And then because I've made so much, I'm going to freeze the rest of it because I'm going to make another dish with the sausage gravy that is an American, but I think will go nicely with that, hopefully. So I'll bring you down so you can have a closer look. So here's a closer look of the gravy. And the biscuit. So the first thing I'm going to test, because I've already tried the biscuit, I'm going to try some of this gravy. It's creamy. You can definitely taste the sausage. I'm going to put a little bit more black pepper on that. I'm trying to think what the flavour reminds me of. It's kind of a little bit like a mushroomy flavour. Now we'll try the biscuits and gravy together. Now I can see why people like it. It's rich, it's creamy, it's really flavoursome. Biscuit is nice and soft, a little bit flaky with the bigger ones. Not as dense as I thought they were going to be. Beautiful sausage meat flavour. That is really, really nice. So, have you had biscuits and gravy? If you have, let me know. Have you made biscuits and gravy? Have I done it right? As I said, I'm going to be doing another, I say classic recipe that you can make for July the 4th. And that will be a chicken pot pie done my way, or my interpretation. So yeah, definitely make that again. It is absolutely beautiful. I absolutely love the flavours. It's earthy. As I said, there's kind of a mushroomy flavour, even though it's not mushroom. But yeah, if you like the content, please give it a like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to click the notification bell for new uploads. I'm getting back to a sort of routine. It's been so hot, I didn't want to cook in, it was too hot to cook. So yeah, I highly recommend give that a try. Thank you. Until the next video, goodbye.